All right, all right, all right. Hold on. Let's make sure the mic is good because. Okay, can y'all hear me? Shit. It's your girl Janice. I am live. I am live. I'm live. I think the mic is good. I think the mic is good. Hold on. Let me just see something real quick because now my Yeti look like it's want to do. Just see something. Is this Yeti good? Can y'all hear me? I'm gonna wait till somebody gets on so y'all can hear me. But y'all, I am live. I can't even be on this live for very long. So I'm live. Your girl Janice is live. What is going on, guys? We're going to get into it. So tonight I'm doing a training. I am doing a training, y'all, on how to get your store started. And after this training, we have the 5-day challenge. We have the 5-day challenge right after this training. So I am doing this training and live streaming to all of my pages because if y'all have not gone to my challenge, my link is there for the beauty supply challenge that's happening literally an hour after this. So we're doing the challenge at 7 p.m. And I just dropped the link in the challenge, the link of the challenge in the chat. I'm going to drop the link of the challenge in the chat. All right, so I'm going to jump in because we have a lot to cover that I want to get through on these slides. And then I'm going to meet you guys on the challenge tonight. So here we go. And hopefully you guys can see my slides. Let me just come back here. Hopefully you guys can see the slides. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so let's get started, guys. We're going to talk about how to open your store profitably, your beauty supply store profitably in 2026. So real quick, guys, there's a legal disclaimer here for those of you who like to watch my trainings and then repurpose and put it out as your own. That is strictly prohibited, and it will be enforced under U.S. copyright and intellectual property law. So that disclaimer is there for the people who like to steal my stuff. So let's get started, guys. The Black-owned beauty supply takeover is here, and I'm extremely, extremely proud and excited to be at the forefront of this amazing movement that we have as Black entrepreneurs taking over the beauty supply industry. And these are just some of my clients: Quality Beauty Supply in Grayson, Georgia; New York Beauty Supply in Baton Rouge, Louisiana; Jazzy Chick in Henderson, Nevada; Be Brave Beauty Supply in LA; My Shade and Texture in Tampa, Florida; House of Melon in Oak Park, Illinois; Bold Culture Beauty in Orlando, Florida; and Mega Beauty Supply in Cypress, Texas. I love sharing some of my clients because it's just to show you guys that there is representation and there are people out here really opening their beauty supply stores that look like you and me. Okay. And so I will be sharing a lot of my client success stories and case studies so that you guys know what is possible for you. So that's what we're going to be doing on tonight's agenda. We're going to be doing all of that, talking about the current state of beauty supply, what's changing, what are we doing differently, how are we getting funding for our stores. And then at the end, I'm going to have a breakdown of how you can join us in this movement and get your store started. So there are a few reasons why you have decided to open your beauty supply. So number one, you may be tired of your 9 to 5. Number two, you understand that your community is waiting for a Black-owned beauty supply store to open. And then number three, you want to create financial freedom and generational wealth for you and your children. If any of those resonate for you, give me a yes in the chat. If any of those reasons resonate with you, give me a yes in the chat. So before we get started, and before I deep dive into all of the stats, all of the facts and numbers and all of things, how to get started, I want to share with you guys why you should listen to me and who I am. So my name is Janice Fredericks. I'm the founder of the Retail Genius, and I have to date helped Black women secure over $1.5 million in funding for their beauty supply stores. And our clients who we have helped open beauty supply stores have generated over 15 million in revenue. This is just our clients with their beauty supply stores. We have been recognized by Black Enterprise Magazine. We have been recognized by a whole bunch of different publications. Me personally, as a pioneer in this industry, but more importantly, my programs. The programs that we have created have helped Black women make millions in beauty supply and help reclaim this industry. So the Business Insider writes about us, and she says the Retail Genius boot camp is helping fill the pockets of Black women. Yahoo Finance wrote about us and said the program has helped Black women generate 3 million in beauty supply. And Kivo Daily wrote and said Janice Fredericks is reclaiming the beauty supply industry for Black women everywhere. So this movement, y'all, is not just about opening stores. It is about disrupting an industry where Black people have been marginalized. Okay. And this is why this movement is so powerful. And this brings me to my own grand opening back in 2010. Okay. This was my grand opening in 2010. And this was literally the day that my entire life changed, right? This was my first beauty supply store. And I had just came off of being fired from the U.S. Treasury Department as a national bank examiner, where I was flying all across the country and essentially auditing and shutting down banks during the mortgage crisis, which I'll get into more of that in some coming slides. But I was a corporate girl. I went to business school, finance degree, worked for the top investment firms, and decided to turn left and pivot from the corporate world to entrepreneurship. And this is how I got my foot in the door of entrepreneurship. And when I tell you, if I were to go back in time, I would have still, and I've run many businesses, I would have still started my entrepreneurial journey with opening a beauty supply store in my community. And it was because of the impact. So not just the fact that my entire family was there, as you guys can see, my whole family was there. My parents were there. I had aunts literally fly out from different states to come and witness me opening my first business. My grandma was there, who's standing right beside me. God bless her soul. Miss her so much. But literally the community and the community impact and response to seeing this young Black girl open a beauty supply store. I was 24 at the time. And I know I still look 24, but I was 24 at the time. The impact that this business made on the community, because it was the first Black-owned beauty supply store, literally was the thing that stuck with me the most. The fact that we had people coming into the beauty supply store and thanking us so much for this beauty supply store. And I just knew that I was doing more than just selling products, right? We were selling hope. And I want to ask you in the chat, when you think about opening your beauty supply store, which could be the first beauty supply store in the community, right? Who's the one person you would want to be at that grand opening or that ribbon cutting, standing next to you, right? Who are you essentially doing this for? It could be your mom, dad, children, wife, husband, or the community, right? Because you recognize that we are in an industry where we don't see many Black-owned beauty supply stores, right? And it could be that you just understand that there's a bigger picture, right? Let me know in the chat, who would you be doing this for? Who would you be doing this for? Drop their names in the chat, okay? Because here's the thing, y'all. It is already March. We're at the end of March. So we're wrapping up Q1 of 2026. And I want you to ask yourself, how do you want to spend the rest of your year? Because imagine this, at the end of the year, you could be celebrating the grand opening of your very own beauty supply store, right? And so I want to give you permission to think outside the box. and dream. Can you see yourself stepping into ownership in 2026? And what would it mean to be the first Black-owned beauty supply store in your community? What would that mean for you? And what would that mean for the community for your store to finally get open? Because the opportunity is here. The only question is, are you ready to claim it? Because before we move forward, I want to share with you guys some of the biggest reasons and the biggest obstacles holding Black people back from opening beauty supply stores. And it's not what you think. It is not the Asians, right? It's our own self-limiting thoughts and disempowering language, right? I don't have enough money. I think this industry is saturated. I don't know how I'm going to get accounts open. I don't know how I'm going to get funding. I don't know how I'm going to do this and that and the third, right? A lot of disempowering language starts to seep into our brains whenever we want to do something new or whenever we are ready to invest in ourselves, right? And do something outside of our comfort zone. That fear comes into our heads and it has us playing small. Right. But that fear doesn't necessarily ever sink in when we're trying to figure out how to get Beyonce tickets, or we're trying to figure out how we're going to get to that next vacation, or how we're going to get the next iPhone. Right. It only comes in when we're doing something outside of our comfort zone and we're investing in ourselves and we're doing something new for the first time. And so at this point, I want you guys to remember to use empowering language when you are stepping into this industry, because there are going to be a lot of obstacles and you need to be able to empower yourself and empower your mindset and unlearn some of that disempowering language and behaviors that we have been taught, especially in the Black community. Okay. And so I know you guys have a lot of questions about how the Asians are killing and how they were able to get in. How do I actually get started and how do I get funding? I'm going to share with you guys all of that. I'm going to break that down for you in this training. But here's the biggest reason why you guys are here, because we are experiencing one of the biggest and loudest wake-up calls, right? Black women, there was a report that came out last year that Black women in America have lost 300,000 jobs due to government shutdowns, DEI rollbacks. And so this is your moment, guys, to understand that, first of all, your job is not safe. And simultaneously, this is our call for ownership, right? This is our call for ownership because the beauty supply industry is a $1 billion industry. And with the DEI rollbacks and the Target shutdowns and boycotts, like, it is time for Black women to own more than just the products, right? We need to start owning our shelves. Okay, this is our call to own our shelves. And here's another statistic I'm going to share with you guys. And this is a picture of me and my 5 kids. 80% of Black mothers are the primary breadwinners in their household, right? We are single moms, a lot of us. I am also a single mom. And so we literally are carrying the household. Like, we have more on our shoulders than most women. And so now more than ever do Black women need to step up, because we have children who are literally looking at us and wanting to make sure that the future is safe, that we're going to leave them some generational wealth and legacy. So this is Vanessa. This is our first case study that I want to share with you guys. And Vanessa was from West Africa, migrated to this country, single mom of 4, and was a hairstylist when she called me. And me and my team literally helped her open her beauty supply store and hair salon. So in her business, she has a salon in the back of her beauty supply store. I think she has like maybe 3 stations, beautiful, beautiful salon. And literally in this text message, she talks about how this is actually the very beginning of her business. She was making $400 to $500 a day and on her way to doubling in her second year. So literally single mom of 4, okay, from West Africa, doing the damn thing. In North Dakota, by the way. I didn't even say that part. Fargo, North Dakota. Okay, when I flew into that airport, y'all, I was like, where are the Black people? How is she making this type of money in an area where it's like 99.999% white? Let me tell you, there's Black people in all areas, okay? So let's talk about what 2025 showed us, because we need to understand the economic climate of 2025 so we can understand where we're going in 2026. So in 2025, guys, we saw that beauty demand stayed strong even with economic uncertainty. So in the beginning of 2025, that's when the new administration came in, right? We were immediately met with Trump tariffs, which literally shook the entire industry. We had no idea what was going to happen. But at the end of 2025, we saw that foot traffic grew 1 to 2%. And one of our beauty giants, which is Ulta, they actually raised their annual sales forecast. So what does that tell us, right? That tells us that even with an economic downturn, the beauty supply industry did not slow down, right? What we saw is that our weaker stores declined. So these are some of our mega beauty supply stores where they cannot move inventory as fast as our smaller, strong community center beauty supply stores. And so understand that demand is never the issue when it comes to beauty supply. It's ownership. Okay. Because now in 2026, we are seeing that the Black beauty and textured hair care categories continue to grow 4 to 6% annually. So this is literally the category where our naturalistas are winning. Black consumers are literally driving billions in annual beauty spend. Okay. And so, guys, I'm going to share my story with how I opened my store and the mortgage crisis. I'm going to share all that later. But I want to share with you guys that 2026, this is going to be the year that us as Black women stop watching, stop being consumers, and start actually owning, because we recognize that Black women fuel the beauty economy and we own just a fraction of the supply chain. But here's the other thing that I want to mention during March, which is Women's History Month, is that we are not new to this, we are true to this. We have some great pioneers that came before us, and we know the names Madam C.J. Walker, Annie Malone. These are self-made female millionaires, the first female millionaire in American history. These were Black women who got their millions in what? In the beauty industry. Okay, so literally, y'all, this is in our blood. This is our ancestors who already gave us the blueprint on how to make our millions. They made it in the beauty industry through products, through manufacturing, through marketing, through education, through direct sales, right? They gave us the blueprint in the 1920s. And we're talking about a time where Black women couldn't even have, or women weren't even allowed to have a bank account in their name. And these two pioneers were making millions in the beauty industry. And so we've been given the blueprint. And they started also during an economic crisis, which was in that time the Spanish flu. I started also during an economic crisis, which was the mortgage crisis of 2008. And so if you guys remember about the Wall Street crisis and the mortgage boom, this was when I opened my beauty supply store. This was at a time where we could not find gas at our gas stations. All the gas stations were shut down. And unemployment was at an all-time high, way higher than what it is right now. And I said I wanted to open a beauty supply store. I too was unemployed, right? I already shared that. I was fired from the U.S. Treasury Department. We were flying all over the U.S. looking for banks to shut down. I got fired. And I said, you know what? I could go get an MBA, which is what a lot of Black women do. We have more degrees than a thermostat. I could go get my MBA. I could go back to school. I said, you know what? I want to bet on myself and invest in myself by opening a beauty supply store. Because it was at the moment I was sitting in a beauty supply store and I was watching all the transactions happen. And I want to say it was about $3,000 worth of transactions happening within an hour. Bundles, weave hair, pack hair, products. And I was just watching and counting and watching and counting. And at the same time, I was seeing the owners ignore us, not be able to answer questions, right? This was the experience that we historically had in a beauty supply store. And I was like, I need to change this because number one, I see that there's money to be made. Again, I was a finance major. I went to business school. So I know how to spot a good business with a good ROI. So I already saw it. because I too was on the consumer end at that time, right? And so I had to switch my mindset from how do I go from the consumer to the owner. Even I've never seen this done before. Okay, so we're talking about 2010 when I opened my first beauty supply store. I have never seen a Black-owned beauty supply store. I didn't know that was possible. But I was like, I'm going to find out. And then my parents were like, you're going to open a beauty supply store during a recession. Like, people don't have jobs. People don't have money. How are you going to do this? Y'all, I said, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to tell you that when I opened my beauty supply store in 2010, when unemployment was at an all-time high, I made so much money because I saw so many women coming in, spending their unemployment check to look good. Because what happens in economic downturns? People feel bad. So we do what we can so that we can look good, so that we can feel good. When you feel good, you do good, right? And so in general, the beauty sector always goes up when there's an economic crisis. It always, like COVID, we saw the same thing, y'all. And so 2010, I opened my first beauty supply store, and now 2026, I am the founder of the #1 Black beauty supply consultant. I also am a serial entrepreneur and author of the amazing book that you see behind me called Breaking Barriers, and that's teaching you how to open a beauty supply store. And so I wouldn't have made it to this spot if I didn't bet on myself with starting in entrepreneurship after I was fired from that job, right? I did not go out and get a second degree. I went out and bet on myself. And so I want to get into the numbers of what it looks like to have ownership in beauty supply. So right now, as you can see in this graph, the industry is owned 92% by the Asian demographic, 8% owned by Blacks, right? By African Americans, right? It is $100 billion industry, and 8 billion with a B is driven by Black consumers. So now that we've understood the numbers, let's talk about what is working now. Okay. Let's talk about what is working now. What are we doing differently as we are opening beauty supply stores in 2026? So this is the point where you definitely want to get your pen and paper out, because I'm going to be dropping some gems on how you can strategically open a winning, profitable 6-figure beauty supply store in 2026. So y'all, the first gem I want to share with you guys is about the brands and about your product mix. So in 2026, what we're seeing is that the beauty supply stores that have high performing brands will 100% dominate, because what we are noticing is that our consumers, they're more educated, right? With TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and all the things, and influencers educating our consumers, they are demanding brands that and products that really, really work. So in this instance, you need to focus on results-driven product mix, right? Right? That's secret gem #1. You want to focus on building a results-driven product mix. What is a product mix? A product mix is all the different beauty categories that you plan on carrying in your beauty supply store. So we understand that we are essentially retailers in this industry, in the space of beauty supply. And so we have to make sure that all of our products and all the brands and all the categories that we have in our store is going to sell, and they're going to be results driven. So it's when we can no longer be in a space of copy and pasting what we see other retailers doing, right? We're going to copy and paste what they're selling over there, what they're doing over here. We have to keep our ears to the street and focus on the products that really work. And when you are a consumer of these products, it works out for you. Okay. This is exactly what I was able to do in my store. So this is me in my store, Fabulous Freddy's, back in 2010. And me and my sisters literally used 90% of the products that we had in the store. But this is how I was able to have 5-figure months in a store that was only 800 square feet of space. It was tiny, right? So in New York City, a lot of our beauty supply stores are not as big as they are like in the South, where it's like 10,000 square feet of space, 30,000. Like it was 800. It was a boutique. But what I did so well and what made us very successful is the fact that we were very, very niche, and we focused on protective hairstyling. We focused on natural organic products, and we focused on products that we just like really use and enjoyed ourselves. And we saw, success with our own hair care journey, right? And by focusing on a niche market and by focusing on what our customers continue to ask us for, we were able to have 15K, 20K months as a retailer. Okay. So, second gem, private label in your beauty supply store is going to be the way that you are going to replace third party brands, is essentially by having your own products in your beauty supply store. Because when you have a white label, private label, they all mean the same thing essentially. You have your own brand, which means you can charge your prices, which means you can have higher profit while simultaneously creating a deeper loyal brand. Because when your customers come into your store and they're actually buying your brand, it creates a next level of loyalty. Okay, so the secret gem and strategy is to launch your signature product, right? You want to think about what you can sell in your store that is going to fill a void in your community. This is exactly what Pam did with her store, My Shade and Texture, out in Tampa, Florida. Okay. So Pam was able to create her own DIY bar where she had an assortment of oils and body scrubs, where her customers came in and they were able to mix and match and create their own special concoction of a body oil or body scrub. That worked fabulously for her and her business, because literally it was about 70% of her revenue. So Pam literally didn't even have to sell any other brand if she didn't want to. She could literally just have a whole store that's DIY, and that's her own brand. Okay. We've also had people do fashion, right? I personally did bundles, which is probably one of the most common ways that you can private label a product, which is the bundle route. And it also has a high profit margin, also makes you a lot of money. So I did bundles, guys. I did makeup brushes. I did all the things. We've had clients like the two sisters out in LA. The two sisters out in LA did bonnets, like really cute bonnets that you can arguably wear in the street. But we've also had clients do juice bars, right? We've also had clients do juice bars. So sky's the limit, guys. Sky's the limit. Okay. Next gem. Okay, let's get into the next gem. So in 2026, right, you'll need to make sure that your beauty supply store is a hybrid store, meaning you have in-store shopping, online pickup, you have delivery options, right? We are in a space of AI, right? AI and technology. So customers are looking for those emails, they're looking for the SMS updates. Because here's the bottom line: if you are not online and not up with the latest technology and AI, you are literally going to be leaving money on the table. Okay. So the strategy here is to build a dual channel retail machine where you are literally waking up to sales. Okay. This is exactly what we did with my client, Christina, out in LA. Her store is called Curly Girl Love. And when Christina came to us, she was actually a school teacher turned stay-at-home mom of Irish twins. And she came to us and said, I do not want to return to the classroom. I want to open a beauty supply store because my community badly needs one. She got into our program and literally got funding for her store, walked her through the whole process, got her lease, and got her doors open within a year. And so this is a text message that I sent her. And as you can see here in the screenshot, the date is August 6, 2023. And I say, hey, girl, how's sales since we are in the half year mark? Okay, this is August. She replied with $96,978, y'all. That's basically $100,000 in 6 months. And I said, OMG, that is crazy. What's been working for you? And she responds with, she was able to generate $12,000 off of DoorDash. And her online sales was through the roof. But $12,000 off of DoorDash. So I want you guys to start to visualize and see that your beauty supply store is literally going to be like a parent company. And you're going to have all these additional revenue streams underneath it from the beauty supply business. So she was literally doing DoorDash, making 12,000, five figures off of DoorDash. Literally someone coming to a beauty supply store, picking up the stuff and delivering it. All she had to do was package the stuff. Like that by itself. Like, listen, I do DoorDash all day in my beauty supply store. If we had it back in 2010, but we have it now in 2026. So these are the new ways. And I want y'all to see technology is important for you to implement in your store for you to have a profitable business. I want to also bring back Benisa, who was our first case study from West Africa, single mom of 4. She had the hair salon, right? So the hair salon beauty supply business model is another wonderful way that you can have that, again, that additional revenue stream from your beauty supply business. Now, some people do salon suites, which is another fabulous option. But she had a full service salon because she was a hairstylist who essentially wanted to come from behind the chair and have the retail business make the money. And that's also what I did, guys. I also had 2 stations in my small 800 square foot store. But let me tell you something. Off of those 2 stations, there was a time where we were making $15,000 off of those 2 stations. We had 2 full stylists working full time doing installs. And so in my store, we had a bundle there where you can buy the bundles, again, my private label bundles and the install. Those are 2 different additional revenue streams that I had running in my beauty supply store. And it was $500 at the time. Right now, I could probably be doing that at $750, $800. But back then, we did it for $500. So you got 3 bundles and an install for $500. We ran that day in and day out. And it was making $15,000 per month with my 2 hairstylists. And with that money, I literally just paid myself. And all of the money that I made from the retail side of the business, I literally reinvested back into the business, reinvested back into education, reinvested back into mentors. And that's how I kept running the business. So again, sky's the limit, guys. So now let's go into our last gem, which is all about the funding. Because here's the thing. I know a lot of people say that I don't have the money. If I had the money, I would do it. I need to figure out the funding. And here's the thing. Like I said in the beginning, guys, we were able to get $1.5 million in funding for our clients. And so money is not the issue. There's lenders out there that have the money. It's all about your positioning and making sure that lenders can actually say yes to your application. Okay, that's just what it is. And so the first step and the first thing that you need in order to get a yes from these lenders is a winning business plan. Okay, because lenders are not going to just blindly give you money. They want to see documentation on how they're going to get paid back if they lend you $100,000 for your beauty supply store. So here is my 5 P's of a winning business plan. 5 sections that you need in your business plan. The first P is going to be the place, the location, right? You need to show traffic. You need to show that there's demand. You need to show demographics, right? The second P is going to be the purpose. What is the purpose of this loan? How, like specifically, line for line, how are you planning on using this money and why, right? That's a spreadsheet that you need to break all that down. The third P is going to be your product mix, right? We talked about the product mix. This is all the categories in your beauty supply store that's going to make you money. You need to show a lender high margin, fast moving beauty products. That's going to make the money. That's going to be able to pay this loan back. The fourth P is going to be your promotion. This is essentially your marketing. How do you plan on finding customers and keep them coming back to your store, right? I always say you need to be able to articulate how you plan on stealing somebody, because everyone is shopping somewhere for their beauty supplies. So you got to figure out how you're going to get that person to stop shopping where they're shopping to shop with you. Okay. Last P is going to be your projections. Your projections, your financial projections is showing this lender how much money you're going to make in your store. This is revenue, the expenses, and your break-even numbers. So it's at what point is this business going to turn a profit? And you need to show that over a 3-year period of time. Okay, that's all you need in your business plan is that those 5 sections. Okay. And so we have gone through in the past 7 years so many different lenders. So we have a really good idea of what lenders reject versus what gets approved. So for example, lenders are going to reject saying something in your business plan like, I just love hair and I just love beauty. That's nice. But they want to hear this service, this store serves a high demand Black and brown consumer base with proven repeat purchases, right? They are going to reject vague location ideas. Your business plan needs to clearly show a specific plaza with traffic counts and demographic information, right? They're going to reject having random products mentioned in your business plan. Once again, when it comes to the products, you have to show in a spreadsheet of some sort your product mix with all of the margins clearly outlined of how you plan on making money in this business. Okay, this is all a numbers game, and they want to see at the end of the day that you. I'm going to bring Keisha up because she has something exciting to share. So listen to this, guys.
So last week I reported that I went underwriting, and today I actually got approved for my full amount for my loan.
Yay!
Thank you, Janice, actually, for saying, no, call him tomorrow. I got the official email announcement today that I got the full amount that I requested. And yes, right. So I'm excited. I'm nervous and everything all in between. I mean, it took me a year to get here. I'm here now. The money is available.
Well, that's so exciting. Let everyone know what the full amount is.
I got $150K.
Yes. See, it's possible, y'all. It's possible.
And in the words of Janice, everything's going to be moving fast right now.
So yes, y'all, that was Keisha, Miss Keisha Woodruff. She owns a beauty supply store in the Houston, Texas area and got $150,000 for her beauty supply store. She's another amazing case study. She came from the Virgin Islands, migrated to Texas, and literally this dream of opening up beauty supply stores was 10 years in the making. 10 years. And she got $150,000 to open her store. She opened in Tomball, Texas, and she's going into her 2nd year of business. So let's recap, y'all. Let's check in. Let's do a quick check-in. Let me know, guys, in the chat. Was this helpful? Do you now see how the beauty supply industry works, how we make money, how much money could be made? If so, give me a yes in the chat. Also, let me know after reviewing and hearing this training, do you now feel a little bit more prepared and ready to open your beauty supply store? Right? Let me know if I did my job, y'all. Let me know. Give me some fire. Give me some yeses in the chat. Give me some feedback. My love language, y'all, is words of affirmation. So I need to hear the feedback to know that I did my job for you guys tonight. And then, so for those of you who have been on the sidelines and wondering if this is for you, let me know also in the chat if you feel like you want to actually join this movement of Black entrepreneurs who are taking over the beauty supply industry one store at a time, right? If that is you and you feel ready, I want you to type in the chat, I'm ready. I want you to type in the chat, I'm ready, okay? Because here is the next step, y'all. We are doing our 5-day challenge, which literally starts tonight. So if you are watching this training, God has you here, because at 7 p.m., and I've been talking about this challenge for a while, so some of you are new to me, but I've been talking about this challenge for a while, and the challenge starts tonight, okay? So it's a 5-day challenge for us to get your start in beauty supply over the next 5 days. Okay, so this is our time to lock in, and literally, this is like your official starting line. Okay, so March 23rd, which is today, to the 27th, we have our Startup Beauty Supply Challenge, where every day I'm going to be training you guys on how to get started in beauty supply live. Okay, so real quick, guys, because we're starting soon. But day one, which is today, we're going to be building our beauty supply foundation, where I'm going to be talking to you guys about startup costs, how to get started in beauty supply, how to understand the retail language and the retail industry. Day two, we are getting into building your beauty supply brand and your beauty supply identity. So we're going to be using my branding clarity framework to identify who you serve, what you're going to offer in terms of your product mix, and how you are going to stand out in this industry so that you can understand the power of attracting and retaining loyal customers. Day three, I'm going to be teaching you guys about the 3 different proven business models that generate 6 and 7 figures in beauty supply, because not all business models, especially in retail, are built the same. So we're going to be talking about which retail model works for you and your community, as well as your vision and revenue goals. Day 4, we are going to be making it official, right? So day 4 is our licensing, permits, and funding preparation day, where I'm going to be giving you guys step-by-step how to structure your beauty supply business the right way legally, the licenses and permits, everything that you need to understand, local and state and federal requirements for your beauty supply business. And then day 5, we're going to be wrapping up with funding. Like I said in the beginning, funding is one of the greatest and challenges and obstacles for people getting started in beauty supply. And so that's why our last day is all dedicated to raising startup capital and setting you guys up for these lenders to say yes to your application and understanding how to build your business plan. Okay, so this is another success story. This is Flawless Beauty Supply out in Dallas, Texas. My girl Terrell got over 75K in funding for a beauty supply store. And she writes, Janice was such a phenomenal help in getting this girl boss started. Her course had a lot of information that you cannot just get anywhere. So here's what you guys getting with the Beauty Supply 5-day challenge. So you're getting 5 days worth of trainings. You're getting access to the replay. So if you're saying I'm on this training now, I don't know if I could do the challenge today, we have replay access, which means you'll be able to watch it over and over and over and over, because you'll have access to the replays. And then you also are going to get a workbook that we're going to be working out of every single day. So our general admission is only $47. Now, if you want to upgrade to the VIP, which is where you want to be, if you're anything like me, anytime I invest in anything, I always want to do VIP, because I want to get closer to the mentor, the teacher, whoever is coaching, right? So in VIP, you get an additional hour where we're going to be going into the VIP room, and I'm going to be coaching you guys one-on-one on your beauty supply store. So you're going to be getting everything in the general, plus an additional hour of Q&A and coaching, so I can give you that personalized feedback, as well as the workbook. And you will get my beauty supply playbook, which is my ebook on how to get started in beauty supply as well. So the VIP is $97. Okay, the VIP is $97. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat, guys, for you to go ahead and get into the challenge, because like I said, the challenge starts today. The challenge starts today at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So literally, I got 15 minutes, y'all. So we're going to run through this. This is Allure Beauty Supply out in Jacksonville, Florida. They also got $75,000 in funding for their store. And so we decided to do this challenge because the 5-day challenge is going to remove the confusion, the guessing, the delays, all of that, because we're going to be giving you a roadmap that has worked for women worldwide. So again, guys, in the VIP, which is where you want to be if you're really serious about this, the VIP, you're going to get the daily trainings plus an additional Q&A session after all the daily trainings. You're going to get the workbook, which we're going to have daily assignments and homework that we're going to be discussing the next day. You're also going to get the replay access. So if you cannot make it live, you will have access to the recording. If you cannot make it live, you're going to have access to the recording. And you're also going to get my Beauty Supply Playbook, which is your ultimate success pack, which is another resource that you need to open your beauty supply store. Okay. So this is New York Beauty Supply, another amazing case studies. Now, these two gentlemen on the end are the owners. So 2 Black men decided to open a beauty supply store, the first one in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and generated $10,000 in sales during their grand opening weekend. So I'm talking about 2 days, y'all. They first opened their doors, and in that 2 days, they was able to generate $10,000 in a store that was all of maybe 1,800 square feet of space. So we're not talking about no big mega beauty supply store. We're talking about a small 1,800 square foot store making $10,000 in a weekend. Okay. So y'all, we are ending this training now. Okay. Because we have the challenge that's happening. So literally, this is your moment. This is your time to get off of the sidelines and literally get started. This is your next step with opening your beauty supply store, because if this is something that you want to do in 2026, we do the foundational work now, and meet us in the Zoom room in all of 15 minutes, y'all. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat. One more time. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. One more time. So hopefully you guys can make it. Like I said, guys, we are going to have a replay. We're going to have the replay if you cannot make it live. We are definitely going to have the replay there. So no worries if you cannot make it live for our challenge tonight. We're going to have the replay available. This is going to be, someone asked about multiple challenges. This is the only challenge that I have for 2026. Okay, so outside of the challenge, the next step would be working with me and my team and hiring us to open a store, which is a one-on-one program that starts at $35,000. So our one-on-one program, guys, where we have a whole team, you have a whole team that opens your beauty supply store, and we literally just do the work for you. We literally just do the work for you. And that starts at $35,000. And you get me and the team for a whole year where we open a store step by step by step. And that's what you see most of my ribbon cuttings and all of that stuff. That's what we do there. But right now, this is the how you get in and get started with your foundation. Okay, guys? So I love you so much, guys. Thank you so much for coming out and just hearing about beauty supply in the industry. It's something I'm extremely passionate about. It's something that I think we need more Black-owned beauty supply stores, clearly. And so I would love to see you guys in the challenge. Like I said, we are starting in 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. So I will see you guys in the Zoom room. Have a good night.